Eyewitness News, the latest update from the Southland's #1 news team. This is Channel 7, the #1 station for news and information in Southern California. And now, the latest breaking eyewitness news with the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Channel 7 Eyewitness News. I'm Bill Bonds.
And I'm Kel Donahue.
Big evening tonight here at the newsroom as we look at our main story, which focuses on the stock market crash and the cause of effects of what could become of this.
And in other news, Franklin D. Roosevelt is running for president. Today, we take an in-depth look on what the average citizen thinks of this.
And finally tonight, World War I, looking back, a remembrance. Only here on Eyewitness.
Breaking news today from Wall Street. The stock market has crashed, leaving many investors worried about their money.
Yes, what happened is we saw the signs, but never did we predict something on this scale. People bought on the margin, they speculated, and 2 + 2 = 4, and 4 is the loss of money, which is never good.
Right you are, Bill.
Anyway, this is definitely different from what we were used to seeing during the fabulous 20s. And now, to get a more in-depth look at the stock market crash on Wall Street, to our reporter in the field, Willie Carson. Take it away, Willie.
It's dusty here in Oklahoma. I'm Willie Carson, the reporter in the field.
Willie, how are you today?
I'm pretty spiffy. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to see you out there. Where exactly are you?
In Oklahoma.
And could you tell the audience at home why you were there?
We are here to find a farmer.
Okay, and do you think we could go look for one right now?
Yeah, we sure can.
Okay, cool.
Excuse me, sir, are you a farmer?
Yes, I am. 26 years, that is. Can you spare me some change now?
Why do I need to spare you some change?
I need the money for my crops, you know.
Well, this soil here, it's pretty rugged.
Ah, you're right now. Look at this. You can't see nothing, can ya? It's just so dusty.
And now we're talking to the farmer's son. One question pops into my mind. Why is this land so barren?
Well, during World War I, to meet the demands of all the troops, we had to buy more land and we had to farm more. In order to do this, we had to take out loans and we had to increase the size of our farms. Now that there's no more demands, we have no money to afford this. And the bank came and they said they have to repossess our house and we have nowhere to live.
I have one more question for you. Do you think this will be bad for the American economy?
Well, there's no more jobs in farming and we can't produce food. So we're really worried about producing a living and raising our family.
That's right.
This is Willie Carson signing out. Back to you, Bill. Back to you, Cal, in that warm studio.
Yes, it's stories like that that really wrench your heart, and it seems that people like President Hoover should be stepping in, but judging by this interview that I just had with President Hoover, it seems as though he has no emotion towards the Depression at all.
Let's take a look at that interview.
Yes, let's. I feel as though it is in the government's and the American public's greatest interest to not worry about the economic situation occurring right now in America. While many industries, such as the agricultural one, have been declining in success for the past couple of years, partly in due because of the end of the war, we shouldn't panic, because if we panic, the crack of the whip will only sting more. I feel as though our founding fathers built this land with the intentions of all people encompassing strong morals and freestanding attitudes. Giving handouts to men on the side of the street selling apples will only spit on our fathers' hopes. Direct handouts will not fix the economy in any way. Looking back at past recessions, if you will, it seems as though it always corrects itself. If us with power try to correct America, it might only do even more damage. Who knows? While people are out there criticizing the men they elected into office, they could be looking for jobs. And that is how I feel about the Depression in America right now. You know what, it's actually quite frightening, Cal, that we look at our Commander-in-Chief and we really see that the man that is supposed to be leading us through this recession doesn't seem that worried about it at all. And that's the thing that is somewhat frightening when you think about it. But I think that this could give us hope if we take a look at our second point of view here, which is an interview that I had earlier with Lenny Steinbeck, who is a stockbroker on Wall Street. I look around and all I see is sad looks. All over the stock floor is the look of failure on grown men's faces. I tell them that there was nothing we could do. It wasn't their fault. Just because the president wants to be hands-off doesn't mean we have to be. We can change things. Sure, our economic situation is bad. Sure, stocks are at the lowest point ever. Sure, our country as a whole is falling apart. But I feel that there is nothing wrong with America that cannot be fixed with what is right with America.
And in other news today, presidential candidate Franklin D. Roosevelt, who is running against current President Herbert Hoover, stopped in Santa Monica to give a speech on the New Deal.
The following interview is one that I had in my own home to discuss the issues and topics of the New Deal with a Franklin Roosevelt supporter. Now, my first question for you is, why exactly do you, as a person, support Mr. Roosevelt's New Deal?
Well, I was never that big of a Hoover supporter, and he is the complete opposite of Hoover, so I support him.
I see, and how is that?
Well, FDR works directly for the people. He has this can-do attitude, and he is all about getting people jobs.
Well, did you lose your job?
Yes, I did. I worked in the factories making ammunition for the war.
I see. What are you hoping for FDR to do? Do you think that he can change America?
Well, he seems to have a lot of work programs that he wants to start up.
And how exactly do you think that he could do that?
Well, it's definitely a risky move, but if he could get the loans from the government and get a few people with jobs, I think that would definitely boost America.
All right, well, listen, I thank you for your time and thank you for showing up.
Thank you
at my house
anytime.
on
It
so
was
short
very
notice.
nice.
You caught me in my inside wear. Anyway, back to you. Now it's time for a breakdown of Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal for America, as he calls it. This program calls to rebuild America's shattered economy by establishing acts and programs that would better the American public. What he is also trying to do is boost some confidence in the American public. He's doing such things as establishing Social Security, Agricultural Adjustment Act, and homeowners loans. Overall, I feel as though this is a very good act, and it could benefit America and the new president.
World War I changed the lives of many Americans after the war. Women now had the right to vote and became less involved at home due to their changing role in society. Traditionalist and modernist views often clashed in the new America. For a more in-depth look on this subject, let's go to our reporter in the field, Willie Carson.
Take it away, Willie.
I'm Willie Carson, the reporter in the field. How are you, Bill? How are you, Cal?
Oh, we're doing great, Willie. Thanks. It looks like a lovely day out there in Santa Monica.
Well, it is.
That's a lovely jacket you have there. It looks a bit tight, though.
Thanks, it's from 7th grade pictures, but it gets the job done.
I see. And who are we out here interviewing today?
We are interviewing Pablo Sanchez.
And who might that be?
He is an American hero who fought in World War I.
I see. And so he's a veteran then, and that's why you're out here interviewing him for the Looking Back at World War I segment.
Yes, that is exactly why.
Well, is he supposed to be here right now?
Well, yes, he told me to meet him here around 9 o'clock.
Is that him right there?
That is him. Let's go. Hello, Pablo. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, what was life like in World War I?
Well, I gotta say, I mean, when we got there, we were a little bit scared, but we got the job done and pushed those Germans back. Ended up being a pretty brutal war, but we got the job done.
I got another question about war, if you don't mind me asking. Were there rats, as in large rodents?
Oh, indeed there were, yeah. They'd crawl on the bodies, nibble on their toes, and oh man, it was disgusting. If you were lucky if you didn't get one nibbling at you in the night. I mean, it was just that bad.
Right. After talking to Pablo for a few more minutes, we realized that not everything was bad about the war.
I mean, over in Europe, things were getting bad, brutal. But in America, we were making progress.
Well, that's it here, folks. Back to you, Bill. Back to you, Cal.
Thanks, Willie. World War I, spanning only 4 years, was not that bad a war from America's vantage point. When the battles first premiered, America stood their ground due to economic ties and reasons. Looking back, it was a great choice. We say that here today because compared to other countries, our casualties were a mere teardrop. When the soldiers returned, they saw a completely different America. Women were working in factories and out in society more. Farming was flourishing, and the colored people were blasting into the cultural scene. Our economy only started to look better after many countries came to the U.S. to buy rebuilding supplies for their homeland. All of this money, culture, and people eventually led to what we know as the Roaring '20s. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks as though that's all the time we have tonight. We just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Lumber Liquidators, Petco, and Bubba's Chicken Shack. You bring the appetite and we'll bring the grease. I'm Bill Bonds.
And I'm Cal Donahue.
And we thank you.
Rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take